What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Bears' latest Fan Art Sports. I'm Dan Levy. It is time to talk about this Bears team and training camp day number 1. Our reactions will be as follow. And again, one thing for you to keep in mind as you start to get familiar with this channel, there is one common theme. The Green Bay Packers suck. The Bears will not. There is a whole different vibe in Hallis Hall, and I've been around the team. I covered the team for 13 years. I know the atmosphere. I know the culture that was in there. I know what the Bears do during their training camp days. This is unlike anything I've heard and seen of since the Brian Urlacher days with Devin Hester and Rex Grossman and all that was going on going into the 2006-2007 when the Bears made it to the Super Bowl. We won't say what happened in that Super Bowl, Peyton Manning, but we will say I haven't seen a culture shift like this since Lovie Smith. That's right. We've been saying on this whole time, the last couple of weeks, what is this team? What is their identity? They haven't fully established their identity yet, but we got something. Once again, I'm Dan Levy, Fan Art Sports, Bears latest. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff that's going on, and we will start marching into what happened from day 1 today of the actual training camp. Yesterday, everybody just reported. People spoke. Today, it went down, and there are some new sheriffs in town. Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen. Holy moly, did things go down today, and I'm so glad that it did because it finally gave way to what this team really is. This entire time we've talked about with Ben Johnson, who he is, the offensive savant, the guy who's built up the Detroit Lions and did what he did over there, and could he bring it to the Bears? Or is he just going to be a nerdy guy? Is he just going to be sticking to the playbook? Is that all we're going to see out of a coach? All the intensity we heard during minicamp, all the stuff we heard about OTAs, and he's a drill sergeant, he is all that and more. Not DJ Moore, but more. He is all over these players today. Things went down today. He is establishing a new culture. Remember, Caleb Williams, the entire offense, DJ Moore. Remember, last season they went to the offensive coordinator and said, we need to be coached harder. This might be a case where they all come together and say, we may need to be coached a little less. Man, Ben Johnson got into it after just a little bit of accountability front and center day 1. He wasted no time setting the tone. And in his first training camp as Bears head coach during an 11-on-11 session, when the first team offense couldn't get properly aligned, I can read and I can speak, Johnson blew the play up dead and sent the starters, including Caleb Williams, to the sidelines, and the bag-up stepped in. And it didn't just end there. Ben Johnson was seen jawing in the ear and the face of Caleb Williams as he went back towards the sidelines. He is in his grill. He is every bit as intense as advertised. Ben Johnson is not messing around. He's not effing around, for those of you that want to hear a little bit more vulgar out of me. I try not to do it, but Ben Johnson is different. He is not taking this job as a joke, and he wants to make sure that this offense understands everything. And a key that's been floated around and makes perfect sense, if you can't do the little things, you won't be expected to do the big things. So day 1, just getting everybody properly lined up, just getting the offense in line. This is not a day of just chill. This is not a day of just, hey, let's just go through the motions. I know there's no pads and we're just kind of figuring things out. Caleb Williams, you need to know what's going on. This is a culture shift. This is something that, again, I talked about on the last episode. We all know what it is that Caleb Williams has from a generational standpoint. The talent, there. The ability to do things in the pocket, the creativity, the arm, the creative ways of finding ways to make plays happen, there. The things that he lacked last season are the improvables. The things when a play breaks down, what do you do? To get a proper, everybody lined up correctly, to look at it, to make adjustments. When you line up, look at the coverage. Can you make the adjustments? Can you figure out what it is? And not like in college when you had to go to the sidelines and hear the plays and run back in. You got to hear it through those headphones and that helmet. And you got to hear what that is, and you got to figure out what's going on. And these are things that you got to learn. Josh Allen learned it. Lamar Jackson learned it. And they went from really good quarterbacks to now elite. So, again, This is day one. Ben Johnson said he is not putting everything on these guys right now. It's going to be one step at a time. Brick by brick was the actual quote. And day one is getting to that. And again, the unfortunate part is the Player Association, they agreed to only 1.5 hour practices, and that's it. And then after that, they really can't do much. So Ben Johnson has to squeeze in a lot. There's no more two-a-days because players didn't want to do that with their last bargaining agreement. So there's less time to do stuff. So now everything on this practice counts. It was a bold move by Ben Johnson, but exactly the kind of leadership Johnson promised to bring, holding everybody to the high standard, even Caleb. Cole Kmet, tight end, summed it up best by saying, if you're not going to do it right, he's going to get you out. He's not going to let that stuff slide. It's a lesson that we've been locked in. We have to be on the details heading into every practice. This is accountability. It's a major shift from last year, and Johnson is clearly building a no-nonsense culture where execution and precision comes first, and no one is above the standard, including Caleb Williams. And when we said last episode, Caleb's got homework to do, you understand it now. You may not have understood it as much before, but now you understand what you need to learn. Now you understand what kind of quarterback is expected out of you, and this is the kind of culture that wins Super Bowls, not just a winning organization. We're talking about getting to an elite level. Everybody on this team, including coaches, are in a spot to do what they do best, and that is to create. And as we move over to the next one, we have somebody that we haven't really spent much time talking about. That would be Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen also building culture, and here's what he had to say.
It's all part of building the culture of what type of defense that we're going to be, and you have to pay the toll. You have to pay the price. It's a privilege to be on this defense.
Yes.
And so we've been doing that on every defense that I've been associated with since 2009. And it's a way to mentally train players to be tough and push through adversity. Training camp's going to be difficult, and we're going to have to be able to overcome when we're tired. How do we focus? How do we concentrate? How do we dig down deep inside and rise up and make plays in critical situations of the game? And a lot of times that comes with being tired. So it's all just part of, as much as training them physically, it's about training them mentally.
That all makes perfect sense. And we said it before, we didn't pay much attention to the defense during this offseason because everything was so linked to the offense. What is this defense going to be? There are some holes in there. There are things that need to go. But Dennis Allen isn't just a coordinator. He's a former head coach. He knows what's expected, and he knows what it's like to not just build a culture, but build it up. You need to pay the price to be good. You need to make sacrifices. You need to know what you're doing. One of those is what he was doing is when the offense is out there, he had the defense doing up and downs, otherwise known as burpees, but you get it. You stand on your impact, you stand up, drop to your knees in a crouch position, do a little push-up, jump back up, jump as high as you can, explode up, and just keep doing those. These guys need to get in shape, and they need to become tough. Another thing that both Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen were quoted as saying, and something that they're stressing, is that they want players to become to a point where they can police themselves. We saw that with the 85 Bears and Singletary and all those guys and Mongo. And we saw that in 2005 all the way until with Urlacher and Lance Briggs and Alex Brown and Tommy Harris. All those guys, they were policing themselves. They didn't need to have many coaches on them to say who's messing up, where does people need to be, this person needs to get out, this person needs to be up front. That is the kind of culture that these guys are trying to implement here with the Bears. They are trying to make it so the defensive holes that we have, they all start coming together as a unit. They all start coming together and sacrificing and learning what it's like to be on a team and make sacrifices. Again, the Bears, the NFL, very short seasons. This is a window in time. This is a window in time for the Bears that we've never actually really seen before. Number one, the Packers are not that good this year. They are not going to be that good. Jordan Love got signed to a lot. I didn't see a lot out of him, and the Packers got a little bit worse. They lost some players. I didn't see them add anything. There's nothing about the Packers right now that scares me. The Detroit Lions scares me even less. They went from a Super Bowl team to possibly the laughingstock of the league again. All their coordinators are gone. That includes Ben Johnson, who was the key to that offense. And Jared Goff, I believe, is going to go back to being a pedestrian quarterback. And that offense is going to fold like a cheap suit. I love that term, by the way. So, again, there's only one team that worries me in the NFC North, and that is the Minnesota Vikings. But hearing what we see, hearing and seeing what we saw out of today's first practice, my positivity for the Bears and that Kool-Aid, I just topped my cup with Kool-Aid. This is the kind of team that I wanted to see. This is the kind of coaching that we needed to have happen, and this is the kind of culture that needs to be in. The Bears defense doesn't need a rebuild, but it does need to elevate. Allen's leadership paired with players' willingness to embrace high expectations is going to be the difference between a good unit and a dominant one in 2025. Again, we don't know what's going on with the Vikings. Right now, that system is awesome, and J.J. McCarthy might be the real deal, or he might not be. But all it takes is any given Sunday, a weak Packer team, and a very weak Lions team. This could be the Bears' year. I don't want to say it out loud because as a Chicago Bear, you're always a little pessimistic going into this one. Always a little bit, but we'll see. Now, with that being said, with the Bears going on today, there was a roster move today. The Chicago Bears have made a couple adjustments, and the team announced that this afternoon that they have released defensive back Tavarius Moore on Wednesday afternoon. Moore is out, Flowers in. The move comes just a day after the Bears signed veteran cornerback Trey Flowers, signaling a shift, and now the team is shaping its secondary with Jalen Johnson sidelined to start camp. And by the way, they said with him, it sounds like that he will be okay. It sounds like he's just getting some rest, and hopefully he'll be back for when they need him, and he'll be in shape because he knows what's expected out of him. But the Bears are clearly looking to experience depth on the back end. Moore's time in Chicago comes to a close. Originally joined the Bears last spring and spent much of it on the practice squad before getting activated in Week 4. He appeared in 11 games, mostly contributing on special teams, and re-signed in March with hopes of earning a larger role, but either they just did not see a way of him doing it, or he's just not working out for what they want to do. But again, I think this is going to be something you want to keep your eyes on. Remember I said watch Ryan Poles. Watch him. He just signed a new contract himself, an extension. He's not done shaping this season, this talent, and what this Bears team is going to be. He's not done. So keep an eye out. Now that there's a little bit of wiggle room, there might just be another player coming in to Chicago. Who's going to be? Maybe it is Matthew Judon. Maybe it's going to be somebody that we get on the cheap that will make an instant impact. Somebody who's going to come in, have a veteran quality to him, and know exactly how to participate in a Dennis Allen style of defense and wants to get their hands dirty. Again, the Chicago Bears are for real. This is going to be a different team than we've ever seen before. So whether it's the offense or the defense, it's going to be good. And if you're Caleb Williams out there and you're listening to this and you're watching this YouTube video, it's only day one. You said you wanted to be coached harder. It's going to get harder. You said you wanted to have somebody with you going over plays and looking at film and breaking things down. It's getting broken down. You're getting broken down. Welcome to your real start in the NFL. Welcome to adjusting to a real offense. And here's to adjusting to what elite costs. You got to pay the toll. You got to pay the piper in order to be a dominant team, a Super Bowl team. The price gets paid today. That's going to do it for Bears Latest on Fan Art Sports. I'm Dan Levy. Follow me on all the socials. Bass on Air, BASS on Air. I do voiceovers, radio, all kinds of stuff. You can follow me in all my ongoings and all that good stuff. But mostly subscribe, share, comment, all the good stuff. Let's have the dialogue flowing. This is going to be an exciting Bears team. I know we as Bears fans are pessimistic, but I'm telling you, grab some Kool-Aid. It's going to be a rough summer, but in the end, I think we're going to be raising some sort of trophy. I hope. We'll get back to that as soon as tomorrow happens. We'll keep counting down and recapping all the latest, what's going on with the Bears in training camp, preseason, and definitely this 2025 season, which will be a special one. Once again, I'm Dan Levy. This is Bears Latest, Fan Art Sports. And worst comes to worst, remember this, the Green Bay Packers suck.